Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about should you get your real estate license. It's going to be a very interesting topic, so why don't you stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. Today we are very, very excited. We are going to be talking about if you need... Welcome back, everybody. Today we are very, very excited. I'm with my wonderful host, Carl Freund.
Freund.
Yeah.
Freund. If you say groin, and then say Freund. No, you'll never forget it.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Inside View Real Estate Podcast. I'm with my wonderful host, Carl Freund.
Yes, sir.
We got to say that right?
Love it.
Absolutely. And today we are going to be talking about getting your real estate license.
Don't do it, bro.
Don't do it, right? Don't do it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, guys, this is actually a very cool topic. You know, there's a lot of people that reach out to, you know, Carl and I via social media and saying, hey, I'm looking to get my real estate license. I see everybody's trying to do it, and I know that there's some wonderful opportunities and potential there. I was like, what are your personal recommendations on actually getting that step, and actually should you do it? And I'm gonna give Carl, you know, the reins here for a second. Then I'm gonna chime in and give you like my personal experience of being an agent for the last like 8 years on exactly what it's actually going to entail and all the details. But Carl, why don't you take it off real quick?
Well, I think there's a couple different things. You got to be very self-aware. Like, what are you good at and what are you not good at? And so the real estate industry has evolved a lot in the past, really 21 years. And so the reason why I say 21 years is, you know, I remember, you know, I got in this business back in 2000. Back in 2000, until probably about 2005, we used to get the MLS in a phone book.
A book. Literally the listing books.
To the book, you know,
it was
office.
wild.
You have to flip through the book, and then you would literally look through, and you'd have
highlight
photos.
Highlight which one you wanted.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And you had to use the old turnstile lock.
They're right in front of the gas stations.
Yes, and so you know, we call that real estate 1.0, right? And then you've got real estate 2.0, which is really the advent of Zillow.
Yeah.
Putting listings online, IDX, which is called Internet Data Exchange for anybody that wants to nerd out on
Digital age, technology.
Digital age, yes.
Changed everything.
Changed everything. And then you're seeing real estate 3.0 with really the iBuyers and stuff like that coming in and really evolving that market very, very quickly, where they're going into the marketplace and buying homes and reselling them themselves. And then real estate 4.0, which would be the next version of real estate, which is really where I think the line has to be drawn between real estate advisor, not even agents, real estate advisors and iBuyers, right? And so you've got to figure out, where do you stand in this thing? If you want to get your real estate license because you're like, hey, it looks sexy, you know, I see, you know, all these guys, Josh Zuniga making a ton of money, you know, just killing it. That's not easy. And understand that the Josh Zunigas of the world are the top, you know, 1% of the 1%. You know, a majority of the real estate agents in this market fail inside the first year. The statistic is 87% of real estate, you know, agents fail within their first year.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because, you know, they don't do the marketing. They don't understand that your primary job as a real estate agent is actually to generate leads or build relationships. And without that lead generation or that marketing or that, you know, branding or whatever it is, you are going to fail because you have no clients.
You're hitting it on the money, yeah.
But then I think, you know, the evolution of real estate is really going to weed out a lot of the weaker agents in the fact that, you know, you're going to have to be an advisor. And an advisor means an impartial, you know, third-party opinion of how to build wealth in real estate, how to invest in real estate, how to, you know, maximize your negotiating power in real estate, and understand, you know, that the consumer's demands will change substantially. Because, you know, back in the day, we would just open the door, and then, you know, we were the only gatekeepers. Like, we were the only ones that had keys, right?
Yeah,
so, like,
absolutely.
you had to call a realtor, and I hate that word, by the way. And the NAR is going to have to make some substantial changes to be competitive in the future, I think, and that's a different podcast. But, you know, really thinking about the evolution of what the consumer is going to demand, and understanding that the Department of Justice is coming down on the National Association of Realtors because of the way the commissions are paid. And so, word of caution, if you're going to get into real estate in the next, you know, 5 to 10 years, you are going to have to evolve quickly, and the status quo will not work. What's your take?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the points that you said are exactly what I'm going to be discussing. So when I first, just guys, if you don't know a little bit of background, you know, my family's been involved with real estate for 30 plus years. Obviously, my brother Leo Zuniga, he's a lender, I think, for 23 years. I got my license actually in 2013. I didn't go full time in 2013. I actually got my license. I did a few deals for some friends, and I did some rental properties for my dad and some investments. But Other than that, I didn't take it really serious. So I actually did corporate world. I went to college, because my goal was to, get into real estate in 2008. And I had a 10-year plan.
Yeah.
Crushed,
Yeah.
right? Everybody knows what happened in 2008. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to do corporate world and see how it is, see if it's a right fit for me. Well, after the first year, I knew it wasn't. Mm-hmm. I knew that I did not, it was hindering for me from the real true potential that I knew that I had. So I jumped in 2015 with no experience really, right? And that was a huge wake-up call. It was a very, very huge wake-up call because people that are looking, from the outside in and looking at other real estate agents that are doing well, they think it's easy. I'll be honest, because you just see it from like a different perception, but you don't see actually like what it is like to be like in the trenches.
Instagram versus reality.
In the day-to-day. And this is the biggest thing, guys. If you're looking to get a real estate license and you're actually looking to do well in real estate, you have to understand that you are operating a business. That is the biggest thing, is you're operating a business. And this is what I'm going to tell you. And Carl said it before. You have to realize that you are a marketing, branding, and advertising agency first, and then you're a real estate agent. Mm-hmm. So you happen to just be a marketing agency that happens to sell real estate, right? I heard that from a mentor of mine, when I first got into it, and I was like, wow, that totally makes sense, right? You have to understand, just like what Carl was saying, as far as, you have to know how to build relationships, right? And you have to understand how to create trust with your audience in order for them to be that trusted, for you to be that trusted source for them to actually make one of the biggest financial investments of their life. People getting in the real estate license, the ones that struggle, don't get it, right? They don't get it. They don't know that they have to be, a digital agent. That has to do with the marketing, branding, and advertising and doing video. 86 or 87% of all marketing done now, even by corporations, is video. And guess what? That number increases every single year because you get everything through it. And this is the way I like to always say it. It's called parasocial behavior. And I discovered this from another mentor when I first got into real estate, I think in 2016, and he explained it perfectly. Think of a reality TV show. Think of women. They used to love the Kardashians, right? Mm-hmm. They know where they eat, sleep, shits, and shops, right? They know everything about Kim from a TV screen. But on the flip side, Kim doesn't know anything about them. But they feel like they have a relationship with this person, right?
Yeah.
A relationship. It's a one-sided relationship. It's what parasocial behavior is. Your mind cannot discern between a TV screen, a laptop, a tablet, a phone. Your brain perceives the information the exact way. When I understood that, I was like, wow, this is how you are able to change and create the perception of what you are trying to do as far as your career, especially as a real estate agent, and build trust with your audience. And you build trust through education and through consistency, guys, through education and consistency.
Consistency is the big
Exactly.
one.
Consistency is the biggest one. The more that you educate, the more they're going to trust you. And the more that they see you, the more they're going to trust you based off of the education and the information that you're giving you. Because when they do finally have that question about real estate, they're going to be like, Josh has the answer because I saw his video. Josh has the answer because I saw that post. Josh has the answer because I saw the personal testimonial that his friend did or his client did, and I need his help or I need his guidance on that. Mm-hmm. And that's why we do all this, guys. That's why we do audio, and that's why we do video, and that's why we do this post, because we are here to give you the information and put the decision in your hands. I may not be the right decision for you, but I at least know that I'm going to educate you so I have a better chance of being that person, right? Mm-hmm. Because of the trust that we establish. And the outside of that, guys, knowing that you always have to be branding and marketing, especially what I see for agents, and trust me, is for me in the beginning as well. It's like you have to get over your fear of judgment and stop self-sabotaging yourself. We talked about this earlier before.
Well, you hit on two massive points that I think
major points, guys. Like we can get in this.
So like perfection paralysis, right?
Yeah.
So, guys, if you don't know this, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, by the way. But I have a YouTube
Mine
channel.
too.
Right. Yeah, Josh's too. But if you go back and you look at my videos from even 2 years ago, substantially worse than they are today.
Yeah.
And understanding that, a big part of me not putting out as much content as I know I need to is because I am fearful still as a 43-year-old guy that's fairly successful, very self-conscious.
So am I, man. Trust me, I get it.
And so I'm like, dang, I got a zit in my head, or I come up with like any excuse possible, or like, hey, I'm just not feeling right today, or whatever the situation is, to not put out content. Content is king, because you hit on one of the most important things is trust and authority. You know, you have to have trust and authority to be able to do business with somebody. And so that's a huge one. And so perfection paralysis and trust and authority and consistency are just, it's the name of the game.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, like the game of real estate is changing. If you're a real estate agent or getting into a real estate agent, even I would say the veterans is what I like to call them, the ones that don't know about Facebook, they don't know about Instagram, they don't know about YouTube, they are beginning to start to lose business heavily. Why? Because the ones that they were selling houses to before, which are like the baby boomers, it's now their kids coming in to try and buy houses, right? You think they're going to trust them? No, they're going to trust somebody that's around their age is actually educating them. Just because you've been in the business for 30 years doesn't mean you're going to get my business, right?
Totally.
And this is one of the things, because when I got into real estate, I was 25 years old, and that was always the biggest question. Oh, how long you been in the industry, son? And I was like, well, if you look at my transaction history, I guess you would say that I'm probably a more experienced agent than the agent that's been here for 10 years.
Totally.
Yep.
And I hate real estate agents that are like, I've been in the business 25 years. And
I don't mean
the stats, and you're like, yeah, well, you've done 6 deals.
Yeah.
Okay.
You average 6 deals a year. That's like, that doesn't mean anything, right?
Doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean a thing, right? But you know, even if you're a real estate agent, you have to understand that you're gonna get that. Don't let that hold you back. I think the agents that actually say, "F it, I'm gonna go all in, and I don't care what people think. I don't care what people say about me. I am going to make my commitment to this self." You have to look at yourself in the mirror every single day. That this is for me. I'm not gonna give up. With any business, it doesn't even have to be real estate. With any business, you have to go in that with just blind, absolute faith. Trust me, like I've said this before. My first year in real estate in 2015, when I went full time, I did 1 transaction. 1, guys, 1.
You know, you brought up a really good point that I just kind of thought of, is that we have agents in the office that have taken the real estate exam more than 20 times, and they turn out to be a top producer. So I need people to understand that book smarts has there's zero correlation between book smarts and test scores and your success in the real estate industry as an agent. And so it's really important to understand that. And I think a lot of people, they lose hope, or somebody watching this, if there's one person that we touched today that's like, hey, I've taken the exam 6 times, I'm not cut out for real estate, you are. As a matter of fact, that persistence in you keeping, going over and over and over and taking that test again, is probably more key to your success than anything else. It's just persistence and consistency.
Yeah. You have to be willing to put in the work, guys. You have to be willing to put in the work. And like I said, I wasn't the smartest guy in high school or in college, but I did know that I had a gift for people. And I always say this, like, my profession isn't real estate, but my people are my purpose.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're very socially and emotionally intelligent.
So that's the biggest. I was going to say, emotional intelligence will take you farther in life. I promise you that, because then you actually know and understand people, and whatever the problems are, you can create solutions, and you can actually be, like you say, the gatekeeper for getting them from point A to point B, and them trusting you, and you create this family, beautiful, wonderful dynamic. And then with that trust and with that love and with that guidance, you create a long life relationship. And guess what? That relationship turns into another transaction and another transaction. Aunt, uncle, cousin, friend, neighbor, coworker, everybody.
Referrals, yeah.
They become your referral rock stars.
They become your advocates.
Yeah. They're your biggest promoters, right?
100%.
And guess what? They're free because you did a wonderful job. Why? Because you did business with your heart.
And not money first.
Exactly. You did business with your heart. Always make sure you put them first, and you'll go so far in life. I did a post on that earlier this week. You got to change your focus. When you put your focus on everybody else, life begins to happen for you, not to you.
Yep.
Right?
Well done.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Well, that's what our little take is on if you want to become a real estate agent. I always highly recommend it. There's nothing wrong with it. It can only help you and better you in so many ways. But you have to be ready to do the work. And you have to be ready to be uncomfortable. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I promise you, Carl and I will stand by it. You'll be successful. All righty, guys. Thank you so much. We'll tune on to the next episode, okay? Love you.